you couldn't get the Gambit through, there were some teams that would substitute the Rocket for the Gambit and then still pair with the Star-Lord and just use that as your 1-2 wombo combo, and a lot of teams are bringing that back. It's still just as good. Star-Lord's only managed to get buffs. Rocket has only managed to get buffs since then, so both of them have just kind of waltzed right on into the meta unannounced, like no one even really noticed. And it's kind of gotten to a point for me personally where I'm looking at some of these pick ban phases and I'm almost thinking about protecting the Rocket before the Devil Dino. Of course, these teams aren't going to reach for that particular, that particular tool, but you got to imagine later on down in the ban phase, one or both of these teams are going to have to keep that one on their radar.
Oh, you're going to have to for sure right now, but dinos are protected for both sides. Lock that one in. We're going to see what the change will be. This is around the time when things get a bit different. I'm going to go for that Mantis one to be safe there. Not allowing N1HEX to have the Mantis. Forcing their strategic line down a certain path. Not too many strategists available in Ignite because we're always banning out as many strategists as we can. There it goes. The Phoenix as well, not available. It's going to be good firepower, nullified from N1HEX because of RVL. But at the same time, ooh, it's a bit of an interesting one here. Mantis for no one available. Luna one-sided secured for N1HEX. That's going to be the first step there to claim a little bit of a lead here in this ban phase.
Yeah, and of course, they're going to be the White Fox ban, hovered right now by RVL. If they commit to that, which I think would be a very wise thing to do, because Luna triple strategist compositions, with or without the Mantis, either way, it's a deadly combination. White Fox and Ultron, but there is still the sticky matter of the Rocket, so they're actually going to change it up at the last second and go for that Rocket ban, potentially go for that one-sided. So, you do have an opportunity for that White Fox Luna combo in the backline for N1HEX, whereas for RVL, they're able to get Mr. Raccoon on through.
Oh, there it is. Okay, final ban coming out. What's going to affect RVL? What's it going to be? Decision by N1HEX. It's going to be Phoenix. Nobody's going to get the Phoenix available. That's going to be locked out. Nobody has the Mantis. That is also locked out, but we're going to have the differential right there of the Rocket versus Luna. Let's see if that all unpacks in. I saw Iron Man. Hold on. Please spooky.
No.
Get on the Iron Man.
Right, Amazing is in North America. We're not going to be seeing a whole lot of Iron Man over here, I don't think. We'll keep that in Sentinel's
Maybe
toolbox.
Bobo.
We don't need it.
We might get it in Pacific playoffs. Bobo might bring the Iron Man. We got our own Iron Man in the scene. We do.
It could be. I mean, I think that's the last thing that we need is another hero like an Iron Man to come in and just kind of dominate the pick and ban phase, because as we go through it, we're kind of seeing like there's so many things that are so strong right now that you have to try and take your pick, pick and choose Rocket, Phoenix, Mantis, Luna, White Fox, all of these things, and that's not even discussing the Devil Dino and the Gambit, two of the strongest heroes in the game right now. Also, the Black Cat, she's, like you said, fallen out of the pecking order. Less and less teams are prioritizing her. I think some people are starting to figure out how to play her, but also how to counter her. Other things are just a little bit more stronger and worrisome than the Black Cat right now, so a lot of different ways that you can go with this. This is the way that we have gone with it now, though, and in 5 seconds, we're going to see these two teams throw down, not necessarily with their tournament lives on the line, but one step away from it.
Well, lives on the line, get ready to walk the line forward to victory. Let's see as N1HEX start up their matchup against RVL Esports. Let's see who's going to get that first pick already. Netra on the front lines on the cap, VCap on the top. Maybe the Spooky out here, rotating back to their team who do have point control for now. Missionary still unlocks in 5 seconds. Waiting to see for that first mark, detect who they can catch out first.
Netra does have a pretty good angle on the backline there. Just a quick little Vibranium energy saw. Leaves them in half, but doesn't quite find a whole lot off of it. Now just gonna brawl down with Winsger on the point here. Winsger, by the way, making the swap over onto the Devil Dino. Normally a strategist player, but this time manning up the Vanguard and doing a pretty good job to kick things off with a quick little KO there. Spooky getting in there, taking down Blaziken, and the tray is going both ways, but it seems like N1HEX seemingly the ones who have their feet on the point right now and looking to try and get that early cap. RVL going on in, Zep melting down Winsger and trying to retort a nice little two-piece for him, and Zep's gonna buy Rival a way back into this fight, and as HK Mario is just raining hellfire down on X-Lail in the backline, RVL will be the ones to find that first cap.
100% right there, you know, secured for themselves, doing well, feeling confident that they can take that right there. And they did take a very nice slow fight for themselves, RVL, but, you know, money's up right now for Spooky. It's just a lot of money in the game right now. Cashing in on the next team fight, stealing a good 300 there, right there from Winsgar. I don't know, does the dinosaur have pockets? Where did those coins come from?
You know what's crazy is I was also watching like a Black Cat against a Loki, and like you can actually farm money off of the clones. I'm like, why did you give Loki? Why did you give your clones wallets? What is wrong with you?
It's so true. Well, to the mix of it all, see it pops from Proxy. Zeft going for that Galactic Legend. This guy does take out one's guy. 3 down as well from N1HEX, and that's for the Spooky. Gonna retreat for now, running away as they can. It's very hard to catch Captain America and Black Cat. Like, listen, they're gonna go in, they're gonna annoy your backline, but when the fight is lost, you're not gonna catch them. They're too fast. They're already gone.
But you also see the power of the CYA in that fight, right? Like, they go for the Wombo combo, investing in the Galactic Legend, but the Galactic Legend isn't even where the lion's share of the damage is. It's just RVL, with all that amp damage, just crashing in on top of you one after the other, and there's not really anything that you can do unless you can somehow break the amplifier, but if you can't do that, you're cooked.
Right now, speaking of cooking, we've got the Dinos on the front line on the mission area going for chomps, but it's going to be Spooky with the calling card right there, taking out XLL. The Luna's down, and of course the Dinos are going for the barriers. The boundary is down. One's guy takes out Netra. The cap goes down. Power to the primal one right there. Zeft taking out another. The Dinos are down, back into the fight again. The RBB can maybe active, but we're going to cross the path of NRX right there. Slashing once, twice, taking out 2. Take that 3, potentially going in once more. Triple KO certified for the Black Cat, just absolutely slashing through. And that's going to be the flip N1HEX need, as they're going to capture the mission area right now. Finally get some percentage on the board.
And not a bad way to do it, too. You know, they do invest 3, 4 ultimates, actually, as a matter of fact, but they get to hold on to the Fate of Both Worlds and the Devil Beast Rampage, 2 things that they can use to stall things out and try and build up a little bit more percentage. They've got quite a hike in front of them, though, because 91%, you're going to have to try and match that in one go. Otherwise, you're already investing a straight GP to try and buy yourself back into it. At that point, you're cooked again.
Oh, speaking of again, it's going to be Lucky's friend going assembling again right there into the madness of the power of the Captain America right there. Dear Spooky taking him out right there. The Spooky taking out Zeft. Big power coming out from those, you know, Wakandan vibranium shields, you know. Split the shield into 2, double the firepower, double the attack rate. It's just a little bit of a, you know, costume change, a little different expectation, you know. A little bit of LARPing, guys. Don't ask.
Speaking of attack rate, though, like N1HEX, they take that fight so quickly that rival esports don't really get a good opportunity to build up to any ultimates, so they have to spend a little bit more time farming up before they can try and force out this Fate of Both Worlds from XLL. He just hold on to it until it is forced out of his hands.
Yeah, definitely right there. Oh, 60% climbing. Very good right there for N1HEX. Playing very good, slowing down RVL's approach right there. RVL do have the high ground, but big slam coming out from D Spooky, taking out Lick right there, but into the sky, Zef goes Galactic once, taking out NRX, trying to shred through there, sustain, but it's just quite a bit too much. But fortunately, we got another corner play for Blaziken right there, taken down by Netra. It's a tough time with a little bit of Ultron disrupting the flow right there, but nonetheless, 99% is going to be locked in right there as RVL do capture the first round.
And even with that Fate of Both Worlds, like the damage from the amplifier, it's just too much. You just burst right on through it. Remember when like everything felt like you were just completely invulnerable inside Luna's Snow ult way back in the day? No more.
Yeah.
It's too much time has passed and too many teams have figured out how to crack it, and it was the Rocket Raccoon all along. When that comes out with the Galactic Legend, it's just too much. There's nowhere you can run. There's nowhere you can hide. The dance floor is definitely the least safe place in an event like that, and Rival Esports able to walk away with that one, but a good fight and a good run back coming up from N1HEX. They didn't quite make it a 99-99, but you know, if they maybe played the first couple of fights a little bit more clean, they definitely would have. So I think this one is going to get closer as the series draws on. I'm hoping I'm right, because I want to see these two teams fight like their lives depend on it, because like I said earlier, they're one step away from it being the case.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for the old friends team up to kind of take effect here to see if we can get some value coming up from N1HEX when it comes to D-Spooky and Blaziken. Maybe they can get that combo going, really box in, maybe catch out Spooky in the backline, maybe deny that Black Cat value. But right now, it's really on the call right there. But we've got to be careful, as of course, Winsgar and HK are kind of matching each other on the Devil Dinosaur, really setting themselves up to really prepare for that mission area. But for now, both teams are moving in, trying to get the action, trying to get into an optimal area to start a fight right now. But it's just these dive vanguards and these dive duels out here, the Black Cat and the Cat players are really dictating the pace of these matches.
Netra, again, being the tip of the spear when it comes to that dive. Blaziken putting a little bit of damage down with the Rathasaurn on point, trying to put Zeph down in a nice headshot. Beautiful stuff. Disgusting, as a matter of fact. And NRX gonna go in and clean up a nice little double. And with the Kumio being invested from Fish, this is all N1HEX all day long, baby.
Swinging that tail of the dinosaur right there from Winsgar. Taking them out. Pushing RVL back to spawn. N1HEX did capture that one there. Looking smart, looking good for themselves. But, ooh, cracking impacts online, CB. This could be big. Blaziken might be able to go off again.
I would definitely put money on him going off when this Kraken impact starts to come online. Your RVL, like, you have to try and scout this out, but that's the least of your worries. There's also a freedom charge and potentially a calling card that could come out as well. And now the Devil Beast Rampage as Winsker gets a fair bit of ult charge off of that laser beam. D-Spooky forced out and canceled. What a chop coming out from HK Mario.
Calling card going off right there from NRX. Another one, taking out Blaziken, getting Spooky. That's the big picks coming out from the Bucky. That's Zeph trying to get the POV, trying to get the action, trying to see if they can get 100% on their ultimate ready to go. Face shifting, taking out NRX. That's good AoE from Starlord right there. That ability allows them to just take out Black Cat. Hard to hit, but you can hardly dodge that move if you're just too close to the Starlord. But it's going to be a lot more firepower than if they want to turn this fight. So they're going to pop the Galactic Legend right there. Zeph in the sky is amped up, as you said. The Rocket Ultimate is going to be that damage differential right now. N1HEX on the back foot. One goes down, the second goes down, 3 down to the count. XLL trying to survive, but he's taken out by Mario as well. That's going to be value for RVL. They flip it right there, taking it at 61% to match, but it's on them to try and catch up right now. And they're going to win this next fight really, really quickly and try to get that 60% mark sooner rather than later. Otherwise, N1HEX is going to tie up the round.
The scary thing, though, is when that CYA comes out, how much ground N1HEX have to concede. Like, the cap nearly comes through before the fight is even over, just because they fear the damage and they know they don't have a Strategist ultimate. XLail was lagging a little bit behind in terms of that Fate of Both Worlds. Is going to have it now, but Kraken impact going to come up from Blaziken, stomping right down on HK Mario. No other targets showing themselves right now, but as he goes back up, comes back down again, looking to try and find the cleanup, and will get one onto Lick. Somehow threads the needle there, and Fate of Both Worlds going to come from XLail. A little bit of damage and potentially coming out for Blaziken as he goes back up yet again. And this should be a good opportunity now for N1HEX to try and buy their way back into this one, as NRX is able to take down proxies, burn the BRB as well. They have to trade XLail to make that happen, though, and that's an opportunity for Rival to try and buy themselves back into it. And the calling card going to come out now from Spocky to try and do just that. N1HEX holding on by a wing and a prayer and a Kumiho, and that Kumiho is unleashed. It will stomp down Spocky. Fox beats Cat, and this should be N1HEX finding the flip if they can just get rid of these last few members of Rival Esports.
They're going to have to go and hard and crunch as much as they can right now for N1HEX. That's the value. One's guys going for it with the Dino time. Zeft in their grasp right there, taking them out as the Dino can. Double Dinosaur looking primal, looking sharp, going for the jump, taking out Netra, and they do flip it in their favor right there. Strong fight, strong start right there, I gotta say. But, you know, looking good as they are. The ult charge right now for Winsgar's almost there. Going to have that primal time right there. Going to be able to rampage if they need. But Zeft also has the Galactic Legend. Netra as well with the Assemble could be big. Both Assembles online. D-Spooky as well. Looks like the fight's about to kick off again right here. 80% and climbing. RVL need to move in now. And a rampage starts off from Winsgar, diving straight into the midst of the backline for RVL. Taking out proxies. The Rockets down early. No chance to build an amp. They're going to try to go for Zev. Taking out the Starlord. The Guardians are down. HK Mario down as well. A strong rampage right there. Was so good by N1HEX. Using one rampage to stop an entire fight from RVL. And the beautiful thing is, there's a chance for a portal. Do they have a chance to contest though? 98 to 99. And they do. RVL still contest.
There's going to be an opportunity to come through that portal with a freedom charge. They actually find the flip. We might be into a 99 to 99 situation. There is that freedom charge. It's going to be mirrored on the other side. They want to try and get as much out of this as they possibly can. The Galactic Legend now going to come out with the CYA. Is the damage going to be there? Indeed it will. Lick going to get res right back up. Zep looking for targets, but they've all gone. They've scuppered away into the bunkers, and they're not showing themselves. One will, and unfortunately it's Fish, so the healing's not going to be there. No Kumio will be unleashed. Blaziken caught out, tries to go in with the Trooper's Fist, but taken out, and Rival Esports snake it right out from N1HEX's nose.
Ooh, 1 point on the board for RVL. Right here, that is a big win for them right now. That is exactly what they needed. And everybody, mathematically, check the scoreboards. That's RVL's first map victory in group stage.
And it comes with the one-sided rocket. It's just that easy. Like, you just go for the one-sided rocket, you pop that wombo combo, you get 11 final hits. Spocky able to get 11 of his own, definitely getting active on that Black Cat for the most part. But I think the problem for N1HEX, they should have won Frozen Airfield 100%. They just needed to shut down that portal play, or at the very least, have a better fight to try and contest and shut down that combo when it comes out, because it's just too lethal. You know, you can't let that one come out again and again and again, and you definitely can't give them one last opportunity to get it online.
I mean, as of this moment, these teams are officially tied. Officially tied up as perfectly as possible, which means, woo! It could be crazy, it could be crazy. RVL needs to get points on the board here, and they need to also at the same time deny N1HEX points. They have to. That's the only way they survive and make it to the top 6 to go to playoffs. That's what they have to play here. They cannot look, maybe if they win this series, they might think they're in a good position. No, they have to dominate this series. But N1HEX, they've had momentum, they've been crazy, and they've been showing great stuff too. So they could flip it, and the advantage is on their side because they do get to choose the map.
Yeah, and I think, you know, they might try and play the pick and ban phase a little bit differently, but honestly, I think they just have to try and go for a little bit more of that killer instinct, like we saw in a couple of fights where they just go super aggressive and try and snuff out any opportunity for Rival Esports to try and get back in there, but they let up off the gas just a little bit too much at the final hurdle and let that strange TP play come through rather than go in, use some sort of CC ability if they even had one. I'm not sure if they did, but try to deny it with anything, stop it from coming out. We go to a third point if they're able to do that, but unfortunately, it's not the reality we live in, and in this reality, N1HEX still lagging behind Rival Esports, getting their first map win, like you said, getting themselves on match point, potentially threatening to get the fight win here, the entire series win, as a matter of fact. And just like I said, assume both of these teams are capable of beating Loyalty later on. They both have matches with Loyalty later on this weekend. Assume that they both can. The losing team still has to try and find another win on top of that, and that is a tall, tall task. And we will see who that team is going to be on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere, chat. We will be right back with more action coming your way.
Maximum pulse!
We are undefeatable!
Welcome back, everybody, to Marvel Rivals Ignite Pacific, Stage 1 in Asia. And, wow, guys, what a first map that came through there. Were you guys expecting Rival to take that?
I was kind of expecting N1HEX to at the very least come out with Frozen Airfield. You know, I have high hopes for this roster after they were able to take a map off of AAAD previously. There's something to this team, and if they want it bad enough, they can get a win, but they stopped wanting it at the worst possible second, and they let Rival Esports get back into a map that they had no business being in.
Yeah, and what do you think was, I guess, the thing that really broke the straw on the camel's back there, Liger? What do you think was the turning point for them?
I mean, it's clearly the Guardian himself, the hero of the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, the main character, Rocket Raccoon, 100% absolutely just, you know, coops up everybody's expectations and just absolutely just goes crazy with it. Set the seer, get that amplifier going, beacons as well. Nobody was taking him down, constantly evading every single... Hey, funnily enough, everybody, I think someone might be good against Black Cat. and it may be Rocket. I don't think Black Cat can keep up with the Rocket. I think that might be the strategist pick people can use to, you know, not necessarily fully counter, but maybe delay it.
I also kind of feel vindicated because I said, like, you know, maybe for me, I'm like considering prioritizing the Rocket Raccoon over something like the Devil Dinosaur. I'm just gonna say it. We have seen teams completely forego trying to protect the Devil Dino, getting it banned against them, still win. But it feels like every time there's a one-sided Rocket, whoever comes away with that, they're getting the dub. And like the numbers don't lie. All right, the numbers just they don't lie.
Yeah, the numbers certainly don't lie there, and I'm hopeful that, you know, either side will be looking to change up the drafts moving into the next one. If that happens again, well, yeah, you ask for the consequences you're given, is what I'm going to say for that. But I guess heading towards our next map in contention, you know, we're moving on to a convoy map. We don't know what it's going to be yet. How do you feel the compositions might change up here?
You know what? You know what? It really depends, and it's got to be the contemplation map, okay? It's going to be contemplation, right? And when it's contemplation, I know exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be Gambit, not even going to see the light of day, right?
Of course.
Right. We're not. I'm gonna crash out on behalf of Dan if we see a one-sided Gambit, okay? Let's not. Let's keep him banned. Let's take it easy. All right, and let's look towards this Rocket Raccoon factor. Let's see if we can not make it one-sided. Maybe both teams get the Rocket, even it out, give opportunity. Dino's gonna be in play as well. Teams are going for that protect, but in my mind, I'm like, where's that shield break? Something's missing, that firepower. We saw a little bit of Bucky there, but there's a couple times that Blaziken, you know, had a bit of an issue to get that Kraken impact fully off. There was a bit of hesitancy in it, but yeah, we're still contemplating.
You're saying, like, where's the shield break? And I thought you were trying to steer yourself towards, like, that Iron Man, you know, get the samurai out on the field. You know, he's not bad when it comes to breaking shields.
It's not on the tournament client. It's not. The costume's not available for the pros.
Oh, then don't even bother. All right, plan B. Go with a Moon Knight and Groot.
Ooh, hey. Now you're talking.
Yeah. So I know how to speak Liger. I've studied I've done my Duolingo for the day. In preparation, I studied Australian. I know what a shoey is now. I know, you know. I learned about what did you say earlier, Matt? Cheesy mite? What is cheesy mite?
So think of it like a it's like a cheesy Vegemite, kind of, right? But I like it in like, so I like it in like a bread roll, right? They have like cheesy mite scrolls. It's, you know, it's a little different, and I like it. Check them out if you ever get a chance, all right? If you come down to the land down under, I got to put you on that one. But we're moving on to the draft now, everybody. Good luck and get down to it.
Hopefully there's I mean, maybe if you're N1HEX and you want to try and get one over on Rival Esports, maybe you got to bring out a little bit of cheesemite in your comps. What do you say, Liger?
Well, look, you know, if we're in the good old Aussie spirit, you know, we gotta, as they say, we gotta give it a good old fair go. We gotta see what these teams are gonna do, and absolutely just send it down the band lands. Do something crazy, but don't lose the rocket, okay?
Yeah.
Don't lose the rocket, but
you gotta lock that rocket down ASAP.
100%.
ASAP
so,
rocket.
What could happen here?
Yep.
Oh, now what could happen here?
So I can see Matt laughing at my dumb joke as we kind of gloss over it. Yeah, we're seeing the Dino Protects coming out. A ban from the Luna Snow, and I think N1HEX are probably gonna try and go for the one-sided Luna again. And again, like, she's strong, but we've seen the Rocket be able to just burst through Fate of Both Worlds. So I just kind of feel like Rocket kind of trumps Luna right now, you know. And the Protect's gonna come out from Rival Esports as well, like you said. Do they go for a one-sided on it? I think you kind of have to if N1HEX don't go for the Protect.
Yeah, honestly, like, why not? It won the round. It gave you team fights that you otherwise wouldn't have won in the neutral. Take it. Take it for your favor. It's the secret recipe right now, and it's only just been revealed. Oh my god, they can actually pull it off. Wow. In order to secure the Phoenix factor here. Oh, okay. Never mind. Sorry, they're safe. We're safe.
You're just like you are the thinker
calm.
right now. You are like you've got you're like stroking your chin. You're like you got the graphs. You got like.
I was cooking too hard. I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna remove some spice. I put too much spice.
I'm looking at Liger's cam right now. He's got like the numbers flying all over, like math equations all over his head. He's looking at every different scenario. And the one we come out with is pretty predictable, but I think the Black Cat ban that comes out from Rival Esports towards N1HEX, I think is going to be a little bit extra salt in the wound. All right, the rich get richer for Rival Esports. They get the Rocket Raccoon through. N1HEX have to try and sacrifice one of their protects onto it. Luckily, they also get the Luna Snow that they would have wanted, but that kind of steers your backline in a different direction altogether. You're gonna have to try and play this Luna and this Rocket. Maybe you can get a double damage amp kind of going there. I'm not quite sure, but N1HEX are gonna have to make the best of what they got there. I think Rival Esports looking pretty solid coming out of this ban phase.
100%. You know what we can actually bring to attention as well? Another great pick on this map due to the low ceilings, the quick rotations, Venom. And Venom works amazingly with Rocket and Luna, especially with that Feast combo. And we know the one-more combos get you a lot of value, getting good wins here when it comes to Museum. Because we know it's all about, you know, how you play the Museum, how you hold that first area. And right now, RVL's the one that's on defense. They're the ones out there with the Dino in the front lines. They're going to bring out the Captain America as well. They have the Black Cat advantage, and Zed Style is pretty primed up right now. Looking very good, but let's open up that corridor. HK Mario wants nobody to have any cover, as we got to be very careful as this mechanized beast is in the front lines, already throwing that primal laser, trying to catch any one of those early flankers from N1HEX. But CB, I got to say though, that bus is kind of moving. RVL's not really planting their feet just yet.
Well, HK Mario going to move those feet forward a little bit and try and pressure, but pressure is coming back his way, and Rival Esports holding the S keys there. I think was anticipating the dive from D-Spooky. A good CC coming out, though. D-Spooky might not be able to get out of this one alive, and no, Zep is going to clean him up, and now that's going to be Rival Esports clamping down and stopping the wheels on this bus from going round and round.
Round and around we go. We're going to sing that song, and here these players try to maybe perform a duet. I see it in the skies. Louis trying to maybe get an enabling point there. Trying to pick someone off in the back line there, but not going to get the full value. Got to be careful of that laser. Send them down to sides, but Captain America Netra flanking around, trying to balance around with Spooky. Louis, oh, going in for a face shift right now. But a tough spot. Got to be very careful. Spooky right there. N1HEX on the truncheon action. Daredevil looking ready to fight in the night. We got to be very careful, everybody. We're here watching Marvel Rivals Ignite. And there it is. First pick right there. Louis taking out HK Mario, tearing down the Dino. Big whip right there from Spooky, taking out Fish as well. And that's going to get the value. That's going to be Fish back with the BR beacon. But the stacks and the coins are just rising right now for Spooky, who's just cashing in, taking another down. That's a good defense for RVL right now. Nullifying a good, already at 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Half of their opportunity to push here has already been munched.
But they did have to use the CYA in order to do it, so there's not going to be, like, there's going to be a desync now when it comes to this Galactic Legends. Zep's going to have to try and go in raw, and this is an opportunity for Fish to try and build up that Beta Book Worlds and be able to counter it outright, but Zep's going to try and stop that from coming to fruition, and as Spocky takes down X-Layo, there's just not going to be enough healing, so even without the CYA, the damage is just too much. Zep, like Chaperone, gets the job done, and HK Mario is going to clock Windsor out, and another easy fight win, but I feel like this next one for N1HEX, you have a look at all those ultimates stacking up, about to be 6 strong. It's going to be a bloody fight any way you slice it, but it's one that N1HEX do have just an ever so slight advantage in, and they should be able to come up with a dub here.
Honestly, I don't want to call it early, but there was a desync, and it's already looking pretty even right now. I think Proxys is building it up quickly, and Zeft is already at 20% again. They could probably get that combo next, but even if they don't want to, they can go for the primal charge combo, Cap and Dino, just force that full sustain, full rampage, and completely just dive in. But let's bring out the boundary, let's bring out the amp, let's bring out everything that we can right now as N1HEX are going for their big fight here. They're going to commit 3 ultimates for now. They got 3 more in the bank. They're going to have to go in right now. Big primal counter coming out from HK Mario is what they need. If RVL can pull it off, he's waiting for it. There it is, the primal counter right there. Holding forward, gonna match it with the dance from Fish right there, going crazy. But there it is again, Ab's back. RVL bring the Ab back online just in time. Zeft is very close to the Galactic Legend if they need that extra bit of firepower right now. But both teams are evenly matched. Everybody is still around 6 on 6. Everybody get into the mix. Dear Spooky taking a lick. Spooky taken down. Back again. Dear Spooky avenged right there, taken down. That's value. That's power. N1HEX looking good right now as they have the numbers game. But Zeft is in the skies. Going Galactic right now, shredding through. And N1HEX dive under the corridor for for now, but it's on the Venom. The chase is on. Spooky does retreat, uses a bit of overhealth to survive, and it's kind of the fight is kind of neutralized here as we've got this portal coming out from RVL to really keep their defense going.
They want to try and make sure they still have 10 toes down. Everybody strong on the point, ready for this defense. But like you said, we're back to a neutral. No ults coming online for either side. Proxy is building up to that CYA pretty quick, though. And N1HEX have to try and do something before that comes online. Spooky tries to do just that, but gets caught out. Will force out the symbiotic resilience and swing back out to safety. But it's another scary situation. They're not done with him. Say, come back here. We want you, and we're going to get you. HK Mario chomps him down, but he's traded out. A res coming out now onto Spooky. The CYA coming out. I think it's already been bursted down, so N1HEX are able to deal with it. Spocky gonna get chopped and carried off like a chew toy, and Winsger is gonna put him down. Rival Esports still have enough people to try and keep this one in contention, and N1HEX trying to keep the fight going. Now they get to pop the CYA. There's a Galactic Legend on deck, but Louis doesn't even need it. Able to just go in raw with the damage. The Blaster Barrage, and he's taken down 2. And N1HEX, by hook or by crook, they will have point A.
Yes, back in the game, N1HEX right there, as they do push past the first gate of contemplation right there. Let's see if they can keep it going. I don't have much time left though, but it's a bit of a dip here, as we know. You gotta be very careful around this spire here. You gotta rotate around a very tough spot. You're gonna lose high ground very quickly, but it's on RVL to try and keep them in that box there, in that opportunity for themselves to really just kind of track them down there, not let them get a push. But speaking of being a push, you gotta be careful. HK Mario's with that rampage, and last time we saw Mario in this situation, he just sent it. Going for an early rampage to win an early fight. But speaking of early, NRX going in, letting it out right now. Taking out Lick in the backline. Spoke at the same time, takes out Louis. That's big value. The BR beacons do bring them both back though, neutralizing both rockets' utility. As we still have Louis going in, taking out Spooky in revenge. And big power coming out from the Star-Lord Zeph as well. NRX, it's just trade for trade right here, CB. 1 for 1, bang for bang. Both these teams so evenly matched right now in their compositions.
Yeah, but as these trades keep coming out, the cart is still making more progress, rounding that spire. Galactic Legend now going to come out from Zeps. He wants to try and put the brakes on this bus, but the Fate of Both Worlds is going to keep N1HEX in the fight, but Winsger nearly got separated. There's an invisible boundary coming out from Rival Esports as well. They really want to try and win this fight, but now N1HEX are ready to start investing. A Galactic Legend of their own, and NRX, even without the ultimate, just getting active in the back line there. But the calling card from Spocky, and he's able to find 3, going in crazy deep, and will get chomped for his trouble, but the damage has already been done. Zep is there to clean up Winsger, and N1HEX shuns it from this point. Rival Esports standing their ground, and the calling card gets 1 more on the exit. Spocky going absolutely crazy and still has 3 in his sights, but they're in the spawn. All right, fine. You get to live for now.
Ooh, for now can run out very quickly. When you're messing with the Daredevil, you got to be very, very careful here to see how it all unfolds. Big splashes going out. Mento Fish to deny the chance of Spooky to try to set up a dive there. Very good by Spooky right there. But we got to be careful. Mario going for the rampage right now. Gonna start it up. Gonna go for the crunch. Hits the combo of the face there, and the final proc does take out Fish, denying the chance of a bit of healing right there. But counter crunch coming out right there from Winsguy. They're going to be enough for themselves, though. We don't know. Going to be retreat back with the barrier right now to try and nullify these Spooky, trying to get that bus moving right now. This is it, everybody. 5 seconds on the clock. Overtime is definitely has been achieved right now. It's the final fight for N1HEX. Let's try and get more value on the contemplation right here. But the amp is off from Proxies, and that's going to kick it off as Lyle also drops the amp. It's a double amp city, everybody. Lock in.
No more amps going to be coming out, as X-Lyles is going to expire here shortly, and now we are again back to a neutral. BRBs have also been burned for both sides, and no ultimates online. Galactic Legend will be coming online for Zep before long, and N1HEX have to try and shut him down, and Louis is trying to take the duel, but Zep wants to write his own legend, takes to the skies, and Louis wants none of it, does not want to be even a footnote, so is going to teleport right back on out to the spawn. The easy way, preferably to the hard way, and N1HEX still in this fight, but as Netra takes down D-Spooky, now he has full range over the back line. He's going to be rezzed back up, and he's going to fall for it, and now there's no BRB on the other side, so it's N1HEX, but they get off the point, and Rival Esports will draw a line in the sand as N1HEX. They tried a little too hard to make it happen. They wanted it a little too bad, and unfortunately, they're not going to be able to make it through point B.
Ooh, that is a tough one. That is a tough one right there. That's got to be a moment you got to really lock in and not let yourself step off the gas right there. Unfortunately, they lost a fight that they didn't need to lose just yet, but who knows how it could have ended up if they still had contention. But we're going to flip it now. We're going to see how RVL do. They're probably feeling really good right now. They only have to push half of the Museum of Contemplation. They don't have to encounter the glorious, beautiful outside of the Museum of Contemplation, which is just unfortunate. I don't know about you, CB. I feel like we never see that. I feel like we see other maps in Convoy more than we see the end of this map. It's always being held in the orange void. It's always the orange void that we remain in.
There's a couple of like convoy maps that are like really hard to get through point B. Like I know Spider Island's point B is a real pain to try and get through sometimes, but Museum of Contemplation, like a lot of carts I feel like either stall out on point A, like it's either full hold or just midway through point C. Usually you can try and brute force it through point B, but it just doesn't come out this time around. Like I think, like again, like N1HEX, they were in the driver's seat in that fight, but I think they put their foot on the gas a little too hard and ended up getting ahead of themselves.
That's fair. That's fair. Now, as they clear out the rooftop there, building a nice cove for Louis on the Ultron.
Good thing that wall isn't load bearing. I mean, we bring down the whole museum.
I mean, you know, let's get Hulk in there. Just take it all. All of it can go down. Chomp it away. But speaking of, you know, somebody who doesn't want to go down, somebody who's using the terrain to their advantage, Dear Spooky, right here, out here, doing it on the Venom. Trying to adapt to every situation right there. Big Crunch is coming out. Oh, big steal right there, but it's not a lot of damage, not a lot of opportunity there. Just a little warning shot saying, hey, you better watch your step. This is my stomping ground. You better be careful out here. And there it is, a clean crunch right there from HKMI. It does take out Windscar. Windscar's back though with the BR Beacon. They still got a chance to fight here. As, you know, there's a little pressure coming out from the Venom there, but the movement is pretty good, but N1HEX really need to activate here. They're down a very pivotal Venom.
Yeah, and now they're going to be down Windsor again for the second time, and no BRBs this time around. HK Mario with a nice little chomp there onto Fish, and the adjustments that are coming up from Rival Esports, like they ditched the Captain America and put Netra instead over onto the Emma Frost, which means you don't have a dive Vanguard to try and take out that BRB, so you just try to play for full front-loaded damage, burn it the old-fashioned way, get a quick elim, and then go for the second one. And it's working out for them so far. They've already forced out the strange TP from N1HEX, and as ults start to come online, Proxies is going to beat X-Lail to the punch, so this might be a point A cap if N1HEX don't find some sort of frag in the neutral somewhere, or try and find a miracle, but here comes that Galactic Legend before the CYE even comes out, and N1HEX are already scared.
For the chomps right now, Dino Actions, F in the skies, trying to get value from the last remaining moments of that impactful Guardian. But big crunch coming out, X-Lail taken down from the frenzy from the Fury right there. Big power, Slashes coming out as well from Spooky to just take down that last one. NRX trying to stall. That's a good push for RVL. They've got a good position right here. I mean, last time we were at this point, N1HEX walked with 2 minutes 20 left to try and get to that mark right now. RVL have almost double that and already setting up on the high ground, trying to deny N1HEX getting up there and preparing, but be careful there, even if they go for the flank. Spooky's already marked them with a little pyro turret there. You got to be very careful here. We're going to see how it all unfolds. Ultron setting up as well on the high ground. Louis, Rage of Ultron's online. That could be the deciding moment for this fight.
It's gonna have to be. I mean, it's the only ult that they have to their name that Rival Esports can't really match right now, as they don't really have a good defensive utility. I mean, they have the invisible boundary, but using the Rage of Ultron to force that out and then clamping down with that CYA damage, I think would be a good way forward for N1HEX. We'll see what they choose to do. Right now, they're trying to bide their time, and time is definitely not on their side. Devil Beast Rampage gonna come out from the side of Windsgar, and a good chomp onto HK Mario. They want to try and isolate this Devil Dino. Good body blocking coming out to try and really put the hurting in, but the damage just isn't there. The rest of Rival Esports was able to play bouncers, stop any reinforcements coming in from the side of N1HEX. There is that Rage of Ultron trying to pressure out the backline, but Rival Esports don't flinch. Galactic Legend now coming out. There's the invisible boundary. They finally get it out, but now the CYA just gets burned down, so the damage just won't be there. And N1HEX, they're trying so hard to make this happen, but it's just not working out. Windsor gets caught out there by Lick, and as the Fate of Both Worlds come out from Fish, Rival Esports, they just disengage.
Oh, they're going to be very careful here.
Oh, what a pull!
Going for that. What? That is a clutch assemble. Coming out from D-Spooky right there, surviving the fight, still buying some time for N1HEX on the stall. But you got to be careful, RVL. Only have just a little bit of the heal to push up here. Got to be marked, got to be ready for the amp. There it is. Proxies hits the sea in the skies. Zep's going to go for denied. You're kidding me, Fish. Blasting Zephyr of the skies, denying the Guardian of the Galaxy to try and get value. That is insane marksmanship coming out right there. It's going to deny quite a bit for themselves, but that also means the push is still going. 4 meters left. N1HEX, do they have a chance to try and contest here? Do they have the moment? Do they have the power to build up to the Rage of Ultron? It's RVL as well. Both teams in the neutral right now. No ultimates online, waiting for someone to spark the fire to win it here. Who's going to do it?
It's gonna be Sparky. He goes in, he just takes down Fish, and that is your lifeline cut short. And X-Lail so far away from that CYA, it's just not gonna come through. This Rocket Raccoon healing is gonna have to be load bearing. HK Mario chomping down Winsker, and there's just no way you can help him. Louis gets grounded, extermination canceled. We will live to fight another day, and fight we shall, as this day belongs to Rival Esports, as there's nothing left in the tank for N1HEX. All they can do is hope to throw their bodies at the cart, but corpses cannot contest, and Rival Esports have left the very same in their wake. On Museum of Contemplation, a 2-0 victory for them, and for N1HEX, the road to playoffs gets that much more bumpy.
Woo. Put it all on the line, as RVL have won their first series in Asia Group Stage 1 out here. Congrats to RVL for a stellar performance here, taking out N1HEX. Now this was crazy because last we checked, N1HEX seemed to be the team that was maybe going to climb out of the bottom of the bracket, but right now RVL said, hold on, we're still here, lock in. I love to see it. I love when we got a little bit of a competitive bout here, and of course, like I said earlier, so the question is now, how do these teams fare against Loyalty? What is yet to come for them?
And if Rival Esports is able to get a win over Loyalty, that's good enough. You know, if you can best both N1HEX and Loyalty, you qualify. Even if it's in that 6th place position, doesn't matter. As long as you get to playoffs, the job is done. You just take that reset and then you go through playoffs as is your want. So one more win for Rival Esports over that team, and whatever else happens the rest of the weekend doesn't matter for them. But for N1HEX, they gotta get that win against Loyalty, and they have another matchup against a much stronger team that they're going to have to win. This was the most winnable game for both of these teams outside of that Loyalty matchup. Now, it's getting a little bit darker. I mean, I wouldn't count this N1HEX team out just yet. There is something to them, I promise you. They took a map off of Triple AD. That's a significant punch-up for a team like that. They're gonna have to do it again, and this time they're gonna have to stick the landing as they fumble really hard against Rival Esports here, and Rival just ride the waves on through. The BRBs, the CYAs, the Galactic Legends all coming in spades, and the power of the Rocket Raccoon is on full display, and even when it wasn't showing its head, Spocky was putting on a clinic on that Black Cat, and that is something that, even though, you know, like we said, she's kind of fallen a little bit further down in the pecking order, she is still a capital T threat if you cannot keep her on a leash.
Wow. What an impressive series coming out there. Like, I can't believe it. You know, we witnessed Absolute Cinema, RVL finally break the dry spell, and we'll be able to take away their first win. Surprising? Maybe for some. For me, I was there from the start, support them from the beginning. No, congratulations.
Ride or die,
on
Matt,
the win.
ride or
Yeah,
die.
that's it. Ride or die. No, we love to see it, and yeah, really impressed with the turnaround of pacing from them into that one. And I guess break it down for me. What do you think really made things fall apart for N1HEX there?
Oh, I'm gonna let you go, Liar. I want to see the equations flying around your head again. Let's get the calculus going.
According to the math flying into my head, look, basically, it didn't work out for them early because of the rocker factor. They couldn't catch up after the rocker factor went for RVL. And because RVL had that advantage, they caught them off guard. They gained momentum. As we know in this game, momentum is everything, especially in Ignite. 3-0s, 2-0s, 4-0s, unfortunately. Nobody wants a 4-0. I'm sick of 4-0s, guys. I want a competitive best of 7 when we get to them. But we're not there yet. But yeah, that's what happened. It led to the point where N1HEX, they can take a map for Triple AD, but they couldn't even get themselves to third map on Hell's Heaven against RVL, who went absolutely stomping in. There's a little bit of an understanding there to that dinosaur factor, and then you had the one-sided Black Cat on Museum Contemplation. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's like you're playing on the back foot and you're going into a map disadvantaged from the ban phase. That's sort of where they were here. That's sort of how this one went for them. But tomorrow's a big day for N1HEX. They got themselves a double block. They're going to have to take on Burgers and Zero Tenacity. So there's still a chance to get a map there. It's tough. CB said it before, it's tough. But I don't know. it really was, like you said, the moment where they could try to get points here, but it really also depends how are they going to rotate around and start playing these sort of neutral games and necessarily, you know, not donate. They're donating ults to take ults. You need to do that without losing the pivotal ult you need to then win the next fight. So that's what they're missing. They're like one step behind me.
I think to their credit, they were doing enough to keep their head above water, but just a couple of those anti-clutch moments just came back to bite them, and they sank.
Yeah, and speaking of sank, we're going to be sinking our way through the ring. Who could it be? None other than Zeft. Welcome in. My goodness, what a series, and it's a pleasure to finally have you on board. How are you feeling after that one?
I'm feeling good, bro. I'm feeling really good. Me and the entire team are really happy with that win.
Oh, I can imagine it must feel surreal, you know, to be here in this moment. And I guess coming into it, like, did you expect to take away that victory?
Definitely not, I think. At the start of, like, the tournament, we were in, like, shambles. But it turned out well. We won 2-0. And we're pretty confident into making playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I would be pretty confident about making playoffs because I think realistically, you guys only have to beat Loyalty. That like is your main competition, your only must-win match from here on out. How do you feel about that one coming on a little bit later on this weekend?
Yeah, we're really confident in beating Loyalty tomorrow. Make sure to like tune in, support Rival Esports, support me and my Indian brothers, Spocky, Blake, Netra, Mario, all of us. We're gonna try our best to beat Loyalty.
Represent. We love the culture out here. We love seeing all folks coming around from all across the world. This absolutely lovely, multicultural, marvelous society we have playing Ignite. I gotta say, how do you feel about this current situation with Rocket Raccoon? What have you guys figured out recently and realized we need to get this guy one side on our team?
So basically, I was a flex player, I was playing melee, but there was like no hit scan players looking for a team, so I had to play hit scan, and my aim sucks. So just put me on Starlord, just build my ult, just spam spam Rocket Raccoon Beacon with the Starlord ult and just win. Not much to it.
Simple as that. Simple as that. Love to see it. And I guess looking further forward, if your team does make it through to the playoffs there, how do you think you guys will fare against your Oceanic counterparts?
We're pretty confident in doing well against them. We'll see though. Should be fun.
Love to see it. And
you heard it here first, Rival 3-0's Genji.
Oh, yep.
Whoa.
You've heard it here first. We're ready for it.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But Zeph, do you have any final shout outs before we close out today?
Yeah, shout out Grezin, our coach, for going to bands and drafts with us. We're really grateful for Grezin, and that's about it, yeah.
No worries. Well, thank you so much for joining us here tonight, Zeft, and maybe this might not be the last time we see you. We could see you again tomorrow. Best of luck in that one, but thanks again for joining us.
Thank you. You'll definitely see me tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow as well.
Looking forward to it.